Coach, you'll open this up with an opening statement, and then we'll go into questions.
All right. Conference tournament week. We've been looking forward to this for a while, and a very unusual end of season here where we had a weekend off before the conference tournament that I hated the idea of early in the year, but was very, very thankful for, after going through this season. So we gave our kids a couple days off to just kind of recharge, and gave our staff a couple days off to recharge. And I hope they feel as much better as I do. It was really helpful for me. And so a couple practices, and then we head down to Norfolk to make another run at a championship. So we're excited to get going, excited to be in this time of year, and looking forward to getting it started. So questions?
Coach, you've done this a time or two, getting ready for a conference championship, or tournament, rather.
Mm-hmm.
How does this one differ from that in terms of this team or what you're expecting heading into it?
Yeah, not a lot. It's very similar. I keep the same approach every single year. Look, when you hear me talk about how the hardest thing to do is win a regular season championship. And the reason I say that is because at conference tournament time, it's a sprint. And, you realize, like, what makes tournaments great? What makes tournaments great is Cinderella, the upset story. And so I realize every year at this point that, it's going to be difficult to go down there and not get upset. And that's why we work so hard in the regular season to put ourselves in a position to get an at-large bid, which we've, done this year. And that gives us a level of comfort that not many teams have. And so we're glad to have that. But look, this year of all years, with everything everybody's been through emotionally and mentally, you're going to see more upsets in tournaments this year than you've ever seen. And so we just try to be the best version of ourselves. And there are a lot of teams in this tournament that can win it. We're certainly in that group, but we're definitely not separated from that group to where it can't be us.
Coach, you guys had a nice little break. When you got back to practice, how fresh did you feel, or how fresh did you the team feel?
Well, I was better. I don't know about them. I slept a long time and took naps, and I was like, good gracious. But, I jokingly, we came back and practiced yesterday evening, and I jokingly said, we're going to practice today so we can have a decent one tomorrow, because the one coming off of a couple days is going to be pretty rough. But it was okay. I think our kids, I hope they get excited. It's been hard to get excited for a while for them just because they're so emotionally drained. But I hope that this is an exciting time for them. We've played awfully well this time of year in conference tournament time. But again, that's no guarantee. I think a lot of people think we just go to the tournament and win it, and it's just, this is a difficult task. You just have to be at your best every day, and you hope to not be the one on the wrong end of a Cinderella in this tournament. And the gap is not so large that it can't happen in a lot of these matches starting in the first round. And so we'll have to be a good version of ourselves.
Facing UAB, a team that you haven't faced this year,
Mm-hmm.
I guess, is there any, way to put it is, is there any, I guess, are you, afraid, or, is there any, hesitancy of, maybe, they could upset us?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ironically, if you think back, it feels like 8 years ago, but last fall, in the only match that we played, last fall we played against UAB, and they have a new coaching staff that's only in their second year with them, who they're tremendous coaches, and they've got a couple players that can play with anybody in this league. Fernanda Maida, Alex Kells, their two outside hitters, are very productive, very talented kids. This is one of those teams. This is certainly a team that can advance in this tournament, and they remind me a lot of Charlotte. Charlotte was really left side dominated, and when you have left sides that can just bail you out and get kills, it keeps you in games. And so we know we have our hands full right away, starting in the first round. You look at their record, and that's a very misleading record. Maida, their top player, has been out some with some injury issues, and they're when you watch them on film, you learn very quickly that they're a team that can compete in this thing.
The last USA tournament seemed like a really emotional experience for you guys on top of COVID. It's around the anniversary of your heart attack. It's back in Southern Miss, where you guys won the first one with Alyssa. is, going to Norfolk, OU program, brand new, is there any kind of, refreshingness to that where it's, it's volleyball now?
Yeah, there is. Again, I hate to keep coming back to the same thing, but we're just so worn down. I'd like to tell you we're fresh and excited, but I don't know that anybody in the country is feeling that way right now. But it's an extraordinary burden that's on these kids when you're at Western Kentucky trying to get an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. You have to be good from August 27th. And so it's how many basketball seasons, 2 weeks old? How many a week old, 2 weeks old, and you're already seeing all these upsets, and we've had to try to avoid those for the entirety of our season. And so, but I feel like that this turns the page. We talk about 3 different seasons in our program. We talk about the regular season, we talk about the conference tournament, and then we talk about the NCAA tournament. And so we've turned the page. We're going into conference tournament time. I look at the teams we're playing and I see all the problems that they present, and very often I fail to reflect on our roster and see that we present a few problems too. And so hopefully, great players have to play well this time of year. Lauren Matthews, Paige Briggs, Nadia Jude, those kids have to step up and play well if we're going to win 3 matches in 3 days. And they know that, and we know that. And, at the end of the day, we just hope to go put our best foot forward.
Coach, I know earlier in the season, about 2 weeks in, we were talking about a 2-week road trip that you guys had, and you loved it because it brought you guys together. Does a tournament do something like that for your group as well? It
absolutely does. You go down an extra day early because you have the practice day the day before. And so we'll go down on Wednesday. We'll have Thursday as just a practice day and a day to prepare and a day to, again, just get away and just be together as a group, and we'll meet a couple times and we'll reflect on the season and we'll talk about what this season has meant and what playing moving forward will mean to this group. And it feels like a very reflective time for this group, especially those 5th-year kids that have been here for so long and that came back to be a part of what's left to come in our season. And so I'm looking forward to that. That's the thing I'm the most proud of with our team is the togetherness that they still share after being on top of each other for the last 4 months. And so I'm looking forward to that journey with them.
Anything else for Travis?
All right, guys. Appreciate it.